We just released a new lager for the upcoming Oktoberfest event, or season, you can say. So
in Denmark.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a new lager from Anarchist.
Okay.
And that is really good.
Okay.
Really good.
Is there a big launch party for part of some celebration?
No.
Did you get an invitation?
Hi and welcome to Manufacturing Matters. I'm Michael and I'm very excited to have Benjamin Ravn here for this episode. We're going to be talking about sustainable change. But first I'll ask you to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about where you work.
Thanks, Michael. Yeah, my name is Benjamin and I work at Unibrew.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a manufacturing and management engineer, 40 years old, as you.
Yeah.
We just learned that. And I'm working as a plant manager within Royal Unibrew, so responsible for some of our smaller breweries in Denmark.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a brand that's closely connected to Factbird. So Royal Unibrew is where Factbird started as a project that Mindo Consulting was doing. So yeah, I'm just really happy to have you in for this episode. And I'm also quite a fan of the beverages.
Yeah, we make excellent beer at Albani, which is part of Royal Unibrew. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a great company. Good. So we're talking about sustainable change today. So we'll start off first with a little definition. What is sustainable change?
I think for us, sustainable change is a way to achieve success in the long run.
Yeah.
So really, whenever we are deciding to run a transformation process, we do not look at only succeeding for a year or 2 years, but really building the organization and the competences within the organization to achieve long-time success.
Yeah, it's a really good definition, and it was interesting because when I was pitching topics to you, it came out of like one of my ideas was how to increase profit in the low margin industry of beverage manufacturer, and then you came back with, well, really this is probably the interesting part of it, the sustainable change.
Yeah, I think it's for us. A lot of the transformation happens, in terms of technology implemented or processes done. Mm-hmm. But when we boil it down, it's really into the people within the organization.
Yeah.
And if we do not take care of them, then we do not achieve success in the long run.
Yeah. So whatever your goal is, typically business goals.
Yeah, they would end up in the same way. We have to become more profitable. Yeah. In the way we operate. So focusing on efficiency or losses or whatever within the production, it all boils down to how good are we to run the organization.
Yeah.
And we had to make quite a lot of changes on that when I started in Royal Unibrew.
Yeah. How long was it that you were there?
I've been there for 2 years.
Yeah.
I've been working within the FMCG industry, I don't know, more than 12 years or something.
Yeah, so you were at Coca-Cola as well? And
yeah, I've been with Coca-Cola and one of the great competitors as well.
Yeah.
But now at Royal Unibrew.
Who shall not be mentioned.
No, absolutely.
Not in this podcast. Yeah, good. Yeah, brilliant. So sustainable change, very important for realizing the goals. Could you delve into that a bit more? Like, why is sustainable change such a focus at Albani and Royal Unibrew?
Yeah, it is for us because, as I say, we want to achieve success in the long run.
Yeah.
So we do not believe in fixing issues, just for now, or building up emergency structures. What typically happens within an organization is you get a short-time goal saying, okay, you need to reduce your waste by 50%, or you need to up your OEE or whatever.
Yeah.
Within a short period of time.
Is a short period of time? Is that like a year?
As a budget year, or whatever happens.
Yeah.
And that makes sense to drive change within the organization, but it doesn't give the right focus in the long run.
No.
So what we decided within the leadership team at Albani, primarily, but also, reflected within the Royal Unibrew values, was to look at how can we do that while still making sure that we build the organization for success for the coming year as well. So it's not just a project or a process we start and hire some consultants and do whatever, but we build it into the organization.
Yep.
And that is key to us.
Yeah. So you're not looking for those little bumps in efficiency or whatever. You want to have like a good, strong trajectory over the long term.
Really looking into our process and understanding our own process. Looking into our people, the culture, the behaviors, especially the leadership within the organization. That requires a lot of actions.
That actually brings me on to the next question. So we know what sustainable change is and why it's important. So how do you do it? You've actually got a really good framework for it.
Yeah, we build a framework around it to both be able to communicate it, but also to be better to understand it ourselves. So for us, it's about first the leadership. We have three enablers: the leadership, behavior and engagement, and learning and development. And we have to work on all three. Whatever industry you're in or whatever you're doing, this will always be part of your organization. So nothing new there. But for us, really focusing on first the leadership, making sure that throughout the organization we have a shared understanding of what is the expectations for leadership. How do we do within the organization? And how to show it as well. So building clear roles and responsibilities, making sure that we train both for what they need to do in their daily jobs, making sure that people, the hours are registered and we've done this and this, but also in the way the values they show through their leadership is really important to us. So the way we deal with employees coming in and asking for time off or whatnot,
Do you have an example of that? Like what an old attitude would be, not necessarily
I think for us
to a new one?
Yeah, I think for us it's a common understanding of we see the whole person. Not just the employee or the 8 hours you're here. That is our range. We see the whole person. So whatever you're dealing with at home or within your family or if you're sick or whatever, we try to deal with it all. And making sure that we have a holistic view of that as well.
Because then if you're just focused on this narrow 8 hours a day at work, you're not really helping the person be the best they can be at work.
No, exactly. And what we're seeking is, of course, when addressing the leadership, that is to make sure that we have an aligned approach throughout the organization and a shared understanding, so that when we say safety is important for us, we do not want any people to get harmed. It's important for us to have an alignment within the leadership, throughout the organization, from the first line leaders to the plant directors, making sure that we're on the same page and we do understand it in the same way, because there's a difference in understanding or hearing you say, Michael, you say, I want no accidents, and the way I translate it and the way another one would. So we try to be quite strong in the way we translate the goals we set up for ourselves, so that everyone has a shared translation and not just my own.
So is that the managers sort of responsible for that, as it goes down the levels, understanding the different people's needs? Or?
We try to roll it out through the organization, but we actually have more alignment meetings within the management team, the leadership team. Again, we try to gather everyone from the first line leaders, managers, and directors, to make sure that we get that alignment and shared understanding, but also lift the concerns from the managers within the organization.
So you got that feedback coming up as well.
Exactly.
And it's 3,500 people at Royal Unibrew Group, right? And then and that way of working is for the whole group.
I think it's we try to do it at Albani, but it's really founded within the we have what we call Royal Unibrew leadership expectations. Which is this is short in rural. That's the values that we want to see within the leaderships. And
it's like setting the culture of the company.
Exactly. And it works in the same way.
Awesome.
So whenever working, with leadership, it's natural also to look at behavior and engagement. Making sure that not just within the leadership, we have a shared understanding of, how do we want to achieve zero accidents, now what behavior do we need for that?
Yeah.
What kind of set of values do we have locally, but also at a group level?
Yeah.
That's one thing. And, how do you, the lingo at your local offices, can be different from, department to department.
Yeah, the terminology changes. I've found that a lot professionally. You go from company to company, people have different ways of describing the same thing. And you spend a lot of energy figuring out, that means this.
Yeah.
And,
And in general, this is nothing new. We're trying to build organizational commitment.
Yeah.
In a way we believe is a good way. We want to set the organization up for success, but not success in the short run. Success in the long run. We do that by not focusing only on the full organization, but also on the individual. That means a lot to us as a leadership team.
Okay. Well, and then those are the two parts of the enablers, right? So leadership, behavior, and engagement.
And then we have learning and development.
Yeah.
Which is really key to me, as well as the other two, because we need to build a full learning mindset or a eagerness to develop yourself, and not just for the business purpose, I think, but again for the whole human being. If you want to learn pottery, that's fine by me, because...
A friend of mine has a ceramics turning class starting soon.
Oh,
10 weeks with Zahi Dor, looking much.
Because whatever, if you have a learning mindset and a willingness to obtain new skills, that will slowly drip into your work as well.
Yeah.
And you will start looking at, okay, now maybe we can do this differently or this differently. It will change the way the organization works. So it's about, we as a company can help that process along by both pushing for development, but also building up, formal programs, making sure that our employees can get, the ones that don't have a formal education, we can help them get that.
So you help them go into night classes and stuff, or?
Yeah, we just, for now, we have 8 guys and girls moving on to become process operators.
Oh yeah.
So, and that is a formal education that they get, and that will both help them. Their value will increase, and definitely also change mindset.
Yeah.
But for us, an organization, they'll come back to us and push us into a new direction as well.
Yeah.
And really, that's for me the key is to have a full organization doing that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's really, really good. Do you set aside time during the workday for learning and development, or do you have programs during the day like yoga and stuff that like people at tech startups like Factbird have, or it's not really happening on the operator floor?
No, it isn't, but again, it is. So it really it's about pushing the bar, I think, for what you can do. So and a lot of companies, they would have pushed this more than us, I think.
Yeah.
The brewery industry is a quite conservative industry.
Old school.
Say. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
And also that means that the culture there is also quite old school.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that we need to get moving.
Yeah.
In a good way. So we try to push in every direction there, but always in the focus of what is it that we want to achieve in the long run.
Yeah.
So when looking at absence, for example, we do not just have a conversation around, okay, why aren't you here? And when do you plan to get back?
Come with the stick approach, like,
exactly.
What's happening?
But try to understand the full picture of, okay, can we do something to help you?
Yeah.
Do you need any kind of, is it physical training? Is it therapy? Whatever. What can we do to help you in this?
Yeah, looking at it in the long term, as you say. Yeah, and then there's business benefits, of course, from that. Like
there will be. Yeah. Studies show that and again talking safety, whatever you invest in safety, you get actually 2.5 times back. So,
exactly. Yeah.
And of course, there's a breaking point in that. But for us, it's a great way to exemplify the behaviors that we seek in the organization that is easy to exemplify through either safety or quality measures or for us food quality.
Yeah,
So,
true. Yeah.
So when having the three enablers for change, as we call the sustainable change, leadership, learning and development, and behavior engagement.
Yeah.
Then we have three enablers, three levers.
Yeah. So the enablers are called enablers because they're like the foundation.
Yeah. They're pretty generic. So, whenever, if you're not at Albani, you're at Factbird or whatever, it will be the same things you have to work with.
It makes total sense.
Yeah, and probably you could hire, in your next podcast, you can have an HR guy sitting here and he could probably have better terms for it than what we do.
I like the real terms that people use. Yeah.
But by looking at that, we exemplify it in three levers. For us, it's safety, quality and food safety.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to address.
Yeah.
It makes sense for everyone that we want to take care of our people and we want to take care of the products we produce.
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff moving at a high speed and forklifts going around probably, and it's a dynamic environment.
Yeah, exactly.
So here at Factbird, safety isn't the biggest issue because people sitting down at desks and that, but in production,
Yeah, but for us it definitely is. And depending on where you come from, what status you are at, more or less. Some organizations might be more evolved in these levers than others.
Yeah, totally.
And then you change. But for us, they're easy to exemplify behaviors. So saying, okay, if we all agree that we wanna, whenever we walk around on the outside, we wanna follow the walkways. Then we follow the walkways.
Yeah.
And we do that because we want behavior set of making sure that we do it our operations the standardized way.
Yeah.
So always making sure that we push our efforts into something that makes sense, but also drives the organization forward.
Yeah, I think that fits in. Yeah, so as a leadership, probably showing by example. They're always walking in the walkways.
Yeah.
And then there's like that broken windows theory, right? Like if you've got a broken window in an alleyway, then you're more likely to get graffiti and different things.
Yeah.
But if you keep the small things good, then it was more likely to stay good in general.
Yeah, if you have a car, you know it yourself. If it's nice and clean, you wash it and you vacuum it from time to time. Whenever you sit in it, you're probably, okay, it's actually still quite a nice car.
Yeah.
But if you don't do anything, within 3 weeks, you'll still think, okay, this car, it doesn't matter if I hit anything.
Yeah.
So
I'm in the latter group there at the moment with the car that I have. But yeah.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
But the same thing goes for this. So there's a lot of effort to be shown in that can actually help building the behavior and engagement within the organization, but also achieving great results.
Yeah.
Because the fact is we do not want anyone to get hurt when working at the Royal Unibrew.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So efforts has to be put in.
Yeah.
But we also need to address behaviors and habits within the organization.
And all the little things that lead up to the big things going wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah. Then we have a lever called performance management.
Yeah.
Which is about what systems, what routines, what meetings, what daily structures do you have to keep your operations in control. Really quite simple process. Making sure that you look at whatever you're doing, what do I need to know to keep this process in control?
Yeah.
And making sure that we then can improve on that.
Yeah.
So that's about data, that's about meetings, that's about clear terms of reference for whatever meetings we have.
Yeah.
Making sure that whatever we do makes sense and always drives for something more in terms of organizational development.
Yeah, that's one where I can see probably Factbird comes in a little bit with the data.
Factbird fits in there, in the data foundation somewhere.
We're also at Factbird. We're introducing this entrepreneurial operating system, which part of that is to standardize how you have meetings and expectations around that. Have you got something like that as well?
Not in the system, but we're quite eager in our approach to make sure that our meetings become better and better and better.
Yeah.
So
like have the agenda clear beforehand.
Yeah, and driving a stronger data foundation for the meetings.
Yeah.
So we need more data present within our routines to make them more robust and making better decisions.
Yeah.
But we also need the structure to be quite clear, so that it's not linked to, okay, now we have Benjamin, as plant manager or whatever, and he's really into this. Therefore, we do this. No, we build formal structures saying, okay, no, the plant manager for this will be responsible for this, and the the filling manager will be responsible for this and this, participating in these meetings, and this is the expectation. So that it's not bound to me being in the chair.
No.
As of now, it will be the role that has to do this. So really standardized work.
Yeah, really thinking in the long term.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing as well now, right? You hear about like people changing jobs more often. There's knowledge leaking out of companies and structure.
That's back to the 3 levers because, with higher organizational commitments, comes lower turnover.
Yeah.
And of course we want to keep people within the organization.
Yeah, totally. So you invest a lot in them.
We invest a lot, and it's quite expensive to have turnover.
Yeah.
But also, we really want to be a place where people seek to work. And that's not only Albani. That is, Royal Unibrew. We want to be our strategy is to be the preferred choice for both customers, consumers, future shareholders, and employees.
Yeah.
So really being the place you want to work.
Yeah, it's just you don't have an office in Copenhagen.
No, not as of now.
Not as of now.
But there isn't a long way to fax it. So
no, that's true. Good. So that's 2 of the levers that we talked about, right? What was the third one?
The third one is strategic maintenance. That one, I would say, that one varies quite a lot depending on what industry you're in. But for us, again, being quite a conservative industry, we haven't been working on being proactive or in the maintenance area.
Lots of firefighting.
A lot of firefighting.
Yeah.
And a lot of breakdowns and things where we have no idea what's going on. Do we have spare parts? We do not know, So for us, looking at that strategically as well, will benefit us on all the others as well.
Yeah.
Again, coming back to both safety and performance.
Yeah.
So we do that as well. And
is this like, so you're looking into preventive maintenance?
Yeah.
Predictive maintenance?
A bit as well.
Yeah.
But also energy tracking, consumptions and so on in that arena.
I guess you're quite affected by the sustainability regulations in Europe as well, right? So there's...
Oh, we are, but actually, Royal Unibrew, we're quite far ahead.
Yeah.
We're one of the best within the industry.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And by 2025, we'll be CO2 neutral.
Oh, that's amazing.
In scope 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So,
but that's also like a lot of the sustainability regulation, it aligns with being more efficient.
Yeah.
So it just makes good sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And again, looking at the enablers, this will also fit into us being the preferred place to work. So there's a lot that actually makes good sense for us, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, you're really selling the company as well.
No, but it's a great place to work.
Yeah.
Really. But again, it's about it's not only about corporate structure.
Yeah.
It's really about diving into what do we do here, what is the language that we have, between employees, are we, do we talk around each other's backs, or, whatever, what do we do, and do we accept that, do we talk using nicknames or don't we, what are the values that we have within our own arena, you can say.
Yeah.
That takes up quite a lot.
Do you have the values codified and up on a wall somewhere? Or?
We're in that process.
Yeah.
Because it is important.
So you know them in the leadership group now?
No, not yet. We're still defining with the people within the organization.
Yeah.
Because it's not just something we in the management team can sit and say, no, these are the values. We all like them.
With your tablet.
Yeah. That does make sense. No. We really we want everyone to participate.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not trustworthy, and it definitely will not be rooted. So by everything we do, we try to involve as many as we can.
Yeah.
Without disrupting the manufacturing process completely.
Yeah, exactly. I can. Yeah, but yeah, and if you don't get that buy-in from the beginning, then they're not going to be realized anyway. So
no.
So you get people to agree on them before you implement them. And
Yeah. We seek as much as consensus as you can say,
Yeah.
but really it's really about having, people trying to say, does this make sense to me, yes or no?
Yeah.
And do I want to be a part of this,
Yeah.
yes or no?
Yeah.
Because if you don't want to be part of the value set that we share, if you don't want to do what we think will be great things, then you should find another place to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we're at both at Royal Unibrew and Albani, we want to do great things together. Can't do them alone. The old saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. That totally fits.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah. It's it's a good team is better than a brilliant individual.
Yeah.
How long has Albani been around?
Since 59.
So there's definitely a lot of history there to draw on and culture when building the value set.
Yeah, and we're lucky to think of us still having, a bit of the founder's mentality.
Yeah.
Ludwig Theodor Schütz, who founded the company.
Good beer.
Yeah. Perfect beer.
Yeah.
Now the founder of the company, he's still present within the company. So in the old days, he was pretty much built into the walls.
Yeah.
And we see him. We have a beer brand called Anarchist.
Yeah.
And we see him as one of the first anarchists. And we use that as an inspiration to keep pushing and driving for change.
Yeah.
Because we have a tendency to fall back and relax. And stay within, the comfort zone and all of that.
When things are going okay, it's easy to relax.
And we use him as a role model. So let's keep pushing the boundaries for what is actually achievable here.
Yeah. Which another talk I'd like to have with you one day is about data, because it sounds like you've got some ideas to really push the boundaries with data.
We got quite a lot of focus on data, and both because we lack a lot. We simply haven't got enough of data.
A lot of companies don't.
No, and even the data we got, is it within the right quality, and can it be used for anything?
Yeah.
So there's a new journey for us coming there.
Yeah. It sounds like you're really thinking ahead with that.
We're trying to.
Yeah.
I think it's about being in front of the curve. And here, I'm not sure we are in front anymore. I think we're falling behind. So we have to accelerate that. But that's another talk, but definitely also quite exciting.
Yeah, which I look forward to having one day. I will put a write-up about this podcast on the Factbird website. I think it's factbird.com/manufacturing matters podcast, probably. Hey, you can find it through Google or Bing. And then I'll have a good description of the enablers and the levers. Put up a little table about that there if anybody wants to look at it some more. And I really recommend checking out what Benjamin Ravn and Royal Unibrew and Albani are doing.
Really check out royalunibrew.com. It's an excellent company.
Yeah, it's really surprising.
It's a fun place to work, that's for sure.
And Faxe.
Or Albani. It's in Odense, Denmark.
Odense, yeah. How far is that from Copenhagen?
It's 1.5 hours by train. So
not bad.
Oh, easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Okay, thank you for your time, Benjamin.
Thank you.
And thank you, Gabriel, who's always a bit slow at turning off the camera. That's his little fun little game that he has.
Keep on going.
Yeah.